Hey guys, let's look at the conditional statements in Python today. So as usual, we'll go to our browser and say online Python interpreter and get into the first link and we'll start coding now. So in our previous two videos, we talked about strings and then string functions or methods which are defined inside the string class. For example, string dot upper and then string dot lower, capitalize and then capitalize, and so on and so forth. So we looked at a bunch of string functions. We also looked at how to get the input from the user and how the strings are concatenated in Python. And we also look at the Boolean variables or Boolean data type. It's there so far. Uh, so let's start with the new topic called conditional statements. Now, by conditional statement, we mean that we will have a task. The task will be executed if certain conditions are true, and if those conditions are false, the task will not be executed or some other task will be executed. So let's start with a simple example over here. So suppose I ask a user for an input, say number, and we'll store it in a variable. And so we are going to take the input. So this is the simplest input statement, but we're going to help the user and say enter the number so that the user is prompted for the number. And then you can typecast it into an integer, and we want to find out whether the number entered by the user is uh, even or odd. And that's the ultimate goal of this first exercise today. So what we are going to do is we can print num. So that's a simple statement. So we are asking the user to enter a number, and in its simplest form the program will simply print it. But what we want to do is, before looking at the number, before printing the number, we want to see whether it is even or odd. So what we can do is we can add something called a conditional statement. And the way conditional statements work is we use an if statement, and then we do a comparison operator. If the number, and now the way to find even is, for example, if we have a number, we divide it by 2 and the remainder is 0, then that's an even number. So for calculating the remainder, we have a special function in Python. We use a percent sign and then 2. So we are dividing the number by 2, and we are telling that if the division of number by 2 is 0, and then we add a colon, and then we can ask the program to print the number, and then we can tell this is a number is even, or what we can just simply say num is even, right? And then now if this is not the case, if the remainder of number division by 2 doesn't come out to be 0, then we have to say else. So that's the other statement, and you add a colon here, and then we say simply print the other option, num is not even or not odd or whatever it is. The only thing is we need to understand the syntax over here. So one thing to notice is we are using a double equal to. So this is a comparison operator. If you have just a single equal to, that's an assignment operator, which means that number divided by 2, we are assigning it a value of 0. But here we are comparing whether this division of number by 2 is 0 or not. If it is 0, we just tell the program to execute this statement, and in the event it is not 0, we are telling the program to execute the alternate statement. And remember, this is a syntax of this if statement, which is a conditional statement. And then what we can do is, uh, we need to have an if statement, that's a syntax, and then we need to have a condition. You don't need to enclose it in parentheses, it works like this. And you need to necessarily have a colon, and once you add a colon in most of the compilers, then in the next line, if you hit enter, the next line, the cursor will just leave a space and leave there. Now in Python, this is called indentation, and indentation is really important in Python because this block of print comes under the first statement. You necessarily need to have this. So suppose if I now run this program and give a number 10, it's going to work. 10 is even. If I had no indentation over here, suppose I leave it like this and do the same thing, the program is going to give an error. It says indentation error because you need to have a tab over here to create the indent, and that's how it works. So this is a very simple use case of a conditional statement, right? So you run and you're gonna do 3, and it says 3 is odd, and such a simple program. And then we can now have other examples, and we can use those examples to explain. Even there's another statement called else if. So suppose, uh, if I want to say whether the number is even or odd or 0, so what we can do is we can change this and add another block called elif block, which is elif else if elif num. If the number itself is 0, what we would say is we will print num is 0 now, and we can wait. Now we entered the number as 0, and it's gonna say the, oh, it considers 0 as even too, right? So what we need to do is we have to add two statements. If the quotient of num and 2 is 0 and num is equal to 0, so this is how it's going to work. So if I enter the number 0, it should say, oh, it still says 0 is even because the first statement just uh, works well, and then it just doesn't check the next statement. uh, Probably we can add a statement over here, and num greater than 0. Probably this will work. So let's say 0. Yeah, 0 number is 0, 0 is 0, and now it just made itself different. I think it's gonna run on negative numbers. Oh, it doesn't work well on the negative numbers. We are just uh, because we have defined the number as an integer, it's not gonna work there. Okay, mm, let's move forward from here and take another example. Mm, Suppose I ask the user for a number, say int input, and then close it in a block and say enter a number, and then here the user enters a number. I add a conditional statement if Oh, okay, so I'll ask the user to enter a number between 1 and 12 if num is equal to 1, say print January. Now we can repeat this statement so you might guess what we are doing over here. So what we say is Aleph num equal to say print February. Okay, and then keep going, and then keep changing the numbers 3, 4, 5, March, and then April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay, so what we can do is Jan, Feb, March, April, May, and we'll go on to June here, and then July, August, September, October, and then let's go to November, and then say December, and then change these numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What did I do wrong here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, December. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh yeah, 12. That's all fine. And then I'll add an else block at the end, which says that if it's not between 1 and 12, and if the input is something different, we'll print invalid input and then stop there. Now this is a very simple use case of if Aleph if else block, and it appears to be a long program, but it's really simple and repetitive here. And let's try to run this program. Enter a number between 1 and 12. I put 6 over here. Oh, uh, what's the problem here? Let's try again. 6. Oh yeah, so I had pressed the backspace by mistake. That's why. Let's run it again and give a number of 2. Okay, and then 12. Great. And let's do some number that's not in this range. So it says invalid input. So that's a really simple program. And so we can do a couple of other examples. Suppose I ask the user to enter a number and be, and enter a number. So I'll say enter either 1 or 2. Enter 1, 2, or 3, for example. And I can add a condition: if my number is equal to 1, and the syntax is you need to add a colon and press enter. The indent will come, and then you put your statement, print something else if elif num equal to 2, print something. Okay, else print something. No, elif num is equal to 3, print something, and then elif else print something. Okay, so I can probably say print first name, print last name, print first name and last name, and say print invalid input. Okay, let's try to run this program and see how it goes. So say 1 first name, say 3 first name and last name, say -1 invalid input. Okay, so this works fine. The conditional statements are really simple. So let's try to use conditional statement on a string function. Suppose you define a string and call it something ab 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 ab, and so I want to see if our string is uh, upper letter string, we will print 1, and if it's a lower letter string, we will print 0, and if it is alphanumeric, we will print 1. So let's ask the user for a string input, and please enter a string, right? And now I can say if string is equal to string dot upper, and we will say print the string is all caps, else if string is equal to string dot lower, we'll say print the string is all lowercase. We can add another else if statement, else if string is equal to string dot capitalize, let's say print the string is first word capitalized. Okay, let's try to run this with just these three statements. uh, what's the problem there? Oh, I need to have elif, not else if. So that's elif here. Okay, let's move forward. Oh, so this looks bad. I need to have a tab here, and I need to have, that's it. Okay, so please enter a string. I enter ABABA. The string is all caps because it matched your original string with the string when you after you add the upper after you execute the upper method on the string. So if your string was already in all caps, and string dot upper is going to leave it the same, so this means this condition will be true, and then it will say the string is all caps. Let's use another thing. If I say a b a b a b a, now the string is all lowercase because the string was already lowercase, and then you added the lower function on that. The lowercase stayed lowercase. That's why the original string and the string after using the lower method are the same, and that's why it says it's lowercase. We can also say a b b b b, and let's see what it says. Oh, a b b b b. Oh no, a b b b b. Oh my god. Okay. A B B B and say enter. Yeah, it's first word capitalized string. You can add other statements also. For example, you can finally end it up with an else statement. If these three conditions are not true, you can say print the string is not what I thought. Maybe that should work fine. So let's say A B A. The string is not what I thought because it has a mixture of these things, and that's why it just doesn't work like this. Okay, so this is another use case of if, elif, else block kind of statements. The statements are really simple. Like you need to have an if condition, if statement, and then you have to have a comparison operator and a colon over here, and then an indentation, and then you just tell it to do what to do, right? So we can actually uh, build a simple calculator using this if elif statements. Let's try to do that using whatever knowledge we have gained till now. I'm sure we should be able to build a simple calculator using Python. So let's ask for the user to enter two numbers. So say num1 and num2, and then we should also ask the user to enter what you want to do with the numbers. So this should be a string. uh, so let's ask the user for a number. So again, the most rudimentary thing is input for asking something to a user. Then we can add something over here to make the user's life better. Say enter the first number, and say enter the second number. Okay, because these are numbers, I think the simplest form of numbers are integers. So we are just asking the user to input an integer here. We typecasted the string to integer, and then now I want to ask the user for a string input, and I'm gonna ask uh, type plus if you want to add numbers, minus if you want subtraction, star if you want product, and star if you want product, slash if you want quotient, and percent if you want a remainder. Okay, so we ask for this, and let's move forward now. Suppose if string is equal to plus, because these are the four choices we are telling the user to have. If string is equal to plus, we can ask the user, we can just say print num1 plus num2. or what we can do is, yeah, I think that's a very simple form of this, and it should work well. Else, elif string is equal to minus print num1 minus num2, and then say elif string is equal to star print num1 star num2, elif string equal to this print num1 divided by num2, elif string equal to percent print num1 percent num2, and else print invalid input. Let's try and see if this program works. So okay, so I think I forgot the tabs there, and it just doesn't look really nice. Let's do the tabs again. And then okay, so enter the first number 5, enter the second number 3. So now what do you want to do? Suppose I want to do plus. Where is plus? Okay, so it just added the numbers. Let's do it again. 5, 4, and this time I want subtraction, and 5 minus 4 1. We can try to do a remainder 8 2. The remainder, we want to use the percent sign, comes out to be 0. So let's just give some stupid input. Numbers should be okay, 3 4, and then I just, rather than doing all this, I give hash as an input. It should say here invalid input. Now this is a very simple calculator for adding two numbers. You can add other functionalities build up on this calculator. You can take n numbers, you can ask the user for multiple numbers, expand the calculator, but it's really simple thing, and that demonstrates the power of such a simple programming technique like conditional statements, because you can use something like this and build on it to create a lot of extra functionalities there. So I think we are gonna stop here today, but in the next video we are gonna look at other very important Python functionalities, and uh, we'll go from there. And thank you very much for watching.